Today we're going to be talking about the top 10 best PSVR 2 games you can play as of right now. So just a heads up before you shout at me in the comments, I'm going to be leaving off No Man's Sky, Resident Evil, GT7 and games of that nature off of this list. I really wanted to focus on top 10 games that people maybe don't speak about enough and just ones that are incredible experiences outside of taking up like 5 spots with games that you've already seen a million times. Now of course if you enjoy this video, please do consider smashing that like button. It genuinely does help and helps these videos get seen by more people, and of course if you're new to the channel then subscribe if you enjoy what you see here, because then you get these videos delivered to your face every single time I upload. Other than that though, let's dive into our very first game on this list, which just simply has to be Wanderer Fragments of Fate. Now this is the remastering version of the game, which honestly brought this game up from like a 9 to an 11.5 for me personally. I really enjoyed this game as it has so many different elements of cool stuff going into it. Not only do you get to go traveling through a bunch of different time zones, from the moon to Mayan temples to freaking rock concerts, you get a bit of everything in this, as well as it being a puzzler, a bit of an action game, and of course a story-driven experience on top of that. I genuinely couldn't recommend this game enough. It's just a fantastic experience from start to finish, an absolute joy for the eyeballs, and of course it looks freaking stunning when it's on the PSVR 2. Next up we have The Midnight Walk. Now this one really blew me away. I personally really love the story. I've definitely seen some people gelling with it more than others when it comes to the story, as it's kind of a story of mental health, and on top of that, you know, the style of this game, it just won me over entirely. This is like a mixture of claymation and then of course like traditional gaming, and I just feel like they married these two things together in the most perfect way. It just looks absolutely visually stunning, kept me coming back throughout the entire experience, and every time I did I just felt like that magic come back to me again. This one is really just a puzzler, so if you're into your puzzlers then know that, as well as I said, it has this sort of deeper story and meaning behind it. Next up, a surprise one for me to be able to put on a top 10 list, and that is Hitman World of Assassination VR. Finally, Hitman has actually got it correct, and unfortunately it's still only on one platform, but the PSVR 2 owners out there, you are the luckiest of folk because you get to experience this game in all of its glory of what it actually should be. Now finally they actually nailed again the Hitman VR game, as the Quest version of this sucks absolute butt, and so does the PC version. It's a real sort of shame that we now have this perfect version of the game that will never really see the light of day, it looks like, on any other platform, as the developers just seem to not care. But hey, whatever man, we're talking about PSVR 2 today, and you guys and gals get the best version of it possible. This really does let you embody Hitman, it really does let you embody those missions, and it finally actually feels like an actual VR game. So top-notch experience, get it in your life, do it. Next up is Alien Rogue Incursion. Now I like this game. I don't think it was the best thing I've ever experienced, but I feel like they actually did put together a really good Aliens game. The vibe of this game looks incredible on the PSVR 2 as well, and not only that, but it is a really fun roguelite sort of experience to go through, and just if you're a fan of the Aliens universe, this really does give you that vibe check of being inside of the game and being inside of that movie, and just really nailing the aesthetics of this entire game as well as the sound work. The only thing I think lets this game down a little bit is xenomorphs are a bit, well, daft sometimes, and they can sort of just swarm you, which can be a little bit much, but that part aside, it's still a top-notch experience to get in from start to finish. I highly recommend you push through this entire game as well, because the ending is pretty awesome. Next up is a real sleeper hit that I just don't see enough people talking about, and that is Arken Age. This game is just a top-notch experience. This has everything you're going to want from it, from sort of exploring, world building, and then on top of that you're going to have this really cool comprehensive fighting system on top of that. In this, it's just a full experience. Like, honestly, I don't really want to ruin too much of this. Just know that this game is freaking incredible. If you like what you see on the screen now, I think you'll be able to times that by about 5 when you get into this and actually experience it yourself. It's one of those games I genuinely just could not put down. Next up we have Metro Awakening. Now this is a true AAA experience when it comes to the Metro franchise, as it feels just as perfect as it does to go into one of the flat games, except for this time around you get to experience it and you get to be the main character, because that is what virtual reality brings to you. This is such a well executed Metro game in my opinion, that they just absolutely nailed it. They had people that really controlled how this story was going to be told before they even sort of VRified this game, and you can really tell that when it comes to this, because it just feels completely woven into the universe, and is a perfect example of how you can bring a AAA game into virtual reality, and they nailed this. So if you want to get shooting, you want to get into sort of like that Metro world, this is an absolute no-brainer. Get it in your life. Next up, we have a really visually stunning game, and that is Subside. This game, you know, it makes this list really based on the fact that it is just such an incredibly gorgeous experience to be able to literally dive into and experience a bit of the underwater world. This one, you're going to be able to do a ton of cool stuff in it, from exploring, you know, the underwater world, but you can also unlock a bunch of cool things and experiences as you go through this game as well. Even things like shark cages, which in a game that is visually this stunning is a little bit terrifying. For me, I personally absolutely terrified of sharks. So having to face that it's just not that fun, but I'm sure a ton of you will really enjoy that experience. This one is just like I said, it's visually stunning. If you want to check it out, I highly recommend it. I'm pretty sure there's a demo still available for this as well. Next up, we have Into the Radius. Now this is just a no-brainer for me. This is one of the best open world exploring types of games. When personally, I think it really has a sort of stalker vibe to it. We're going to get in there as a solo dude or dudette that is going to have to go out into this world and explore it, fighting terrifying like shadow monsters, spider creatures, and a bunch of other stuff, doing missions where you actually have to get in there, get the item that you need, and then just exfil the hell out of there whilst all trying to survive. On top of that, you have hyper-realistic weaponry, which is really fun because you actually have to like clean it, maintain it, and do things to it, otherwise it will jam on you when you're out there, and a jam can cost you your life and all of your loot, and it can be a very devastating moment if you don't manage your gear. So this one, again, like I say, is just such a top experience. I highly recommend anyone gives this a go. I'm pretty sure if you do any searches on Into the Radius, you'll come up with the same opinion, which is this is a god tier game. Next up, we have a relatively new game to the PSVR 2, but a game that's existed in VR for a while, and that is Resist. This is such an incredible experience. If you want to feel like Spider-Man, this is probably the closest you're going to actually get to that on the PSVR 2, and really, I think it might be one of the best sort of web slinging type adventures that you can get into right now. Now, this one is a bit of a tech vibe to it, though. You're actually going to be getting these weaponry and these gauntlets that are going to allow you to swing around this ginormous, gorgeous city, and I mean gorgeous. It's absolutely jaw-dropping being able to swing around a city. The physics of it feels incredible, and on top of that, you have this entire story that you're going to be going through as well, where you're going to have to fight off against like drones, giant mech monsters, and a bunch of other cool story beats that's going to go with that. Again, don't want to ruin too much about the story, so that's about all I want to tell you about that, but just know that going into this, it's freaking incredible, and you just genuinely feel like Spider-Man, as well as having this awesome story to explore and go through as well. And last but not least on this list, I put Stride Fates. Now this is again one of those games that definitely seems to divide people a little bit. Some people absolutely love it, some people genuinely hate it. Personally, I'm in the sort of school of people that really love this game. I love the parkour movement in this game, I love all the gunplay, and I like taking out all the enemies. Not just that, but the story of this is actually quite fun to actually go through and experience. I personally really enjoyed it, and then you've got some sort of like time wasting modes that are built into this as well after you finish completing the game. I just really enjoy the movement system that is in Stride. I've always enjoyed this game since it came out on PC way back in the day, and it's now made its way into like a full established game, which is Stride Fates. So definitely one to check out if you want to have that complete freedom of movement inside of a VR game. This one definitely ticks all those boxes, as well as a bunch of kick-ass action that makes you feel like freaking John Wick. So how can you go wrong with that? Other than that, guys, that is going to do it for this list. Like I said, I'm going to reiterate one more time in case anyone's skipped through the beginning. I didn't include some of those classic games for the PSVR 2 today because I really wanted to just give you 10 new games to think about and play potentially that you maybe have skipped or just not noticed to have come out on the system, over just telling you the same 5 games again that seem to be on every single one of these lists. So forgive me, I know a few of you are going to be like, how the hell didn't you include them? But I have. Relax. Now, if you enjoyed this, please do consider smashing that like button, subscribe if you are new, and I'll catch you in the next video. And also, just let me know in the comments down below, what is your god tier PSVR 2 game that you just simply can't put down and always remains in your library? Let me know in the comments down below. Peace out. Bye.